like forever, but yeah, I've been so busy with moving into our new place. And yeah, as you know, highly sensitive people really need time to progress change. And I definitely felt that in the last few months that I was like in this constant state of overwhelm. So I was really happy that Tiara was willing to manage our channel for a while and just give me the time and space to get settled.
Absolutely. Maybe someday you'll be able to do that for me.
Yeah, definitely. I will definitely do that. But anyways, I'm so happy to be back again. And today we're going to talk about a topic which actually is also really suitable for my past situation, also for many highly sensitive people, which is how organization can be an advantage for highly sensitive people. It's generally really good to be organized as a highly sensitive person.
Yeah, I think when I think about highly sensitive people in an organization, the first thing that comes to my mind is declutter, how important that is because of how overwhelmed we get. I think 80% of the information, like the sensory input that we take in is visual. And so if you think about like your workspace or your home environment being cluttered, then you're taking in more visual information than you really need to every day. And it's kind of on a subconscious level, like overstimulating you. And you might not even realize the stuff in your peripheral vision is actually causing you this low level of stress that just really doesn't need to be there at all.
Yeah.
So that's my first recommendation for highly sensitive people when it comes to just taking that low grade stress level down a notch, to just get that out of your mind and your brain.
Yeah.
And it's kind of, your outer world is kind of a reflection of your inner world. And it's cool because you can utilize the fact that you can organize your space as a way to clear your mind. So it's cool how you can, do something out here in the world to kind of calm in here.
It's almost meditative, right? It's like a meditation to clean your space.
Right. like clearing your mind, but like clearing your space so that, your mind is more clear. It's just a really cool connection. And so yeah, I think for sure decluttering, and if you feel like, because some people get overwhelmed by the idea of decluttering, oh my God, what do I do with all this stuff? Like, I don't even want to deal with that pile. There's so much stuff in there. I don't want to deal with sorting it. And one of the things that I've been doing recently around my house as an experiment to see if it would work is, if you don't feel like you have the mental or emotional energy to declutter, just get like a box, or if you have a cabinet or a closet or a basement or something that's just a place where you can put stuff. Even if it's just you go to the, convenience store and get a bin of some kind, just put all the stuff that you're not either using on a regular basis that has a practical function or bringing you joy in some way, like a painting or a sentimental item. Anything that doesn't fall into those two categories, put in a bin or a closet and just get it out of sight. Because you can always come back to it later when you have more time and more energy, emotional energy to go through stuff to sort, like, do I want to get rid of this? Do I want to put this in storage? Can I repurpose this? Like those types of things. Because usually when you think about cleaning house or decluttering, you get overwhelmed with, I don't want to go through the emotional process of sorting all of this stuff. So my tip is just put everything in a box. Even if you're putting away your winter clothes, get them out of sight, get them in the basement or something, just so you have that clear space and you can always, go deeper later. And then it's also good because if you're not sure you want to get rid of it yet, just pretend you got rid of it, put it away, and come back to it in 6 months and be like, did I really miss this the past 6 months?
Yeah. And the funny thing is, like, when you say put it in a bin and put it away and don't do too much at a time, basically that's what I also really like when decluttering, because if you go on Pinterest, for example, you have these whole lists, this declutter challenge, the 30-day challenge, but still that can be overwhelming to think about. Oh my God, I have to declutter every day. But still, the content of these challenges is really great because they take it step by step. They take, for example, one drawer in your kitchen and just do that a day. So don't do too much at once so it becomes overwhelming. Just do step by step, and before you know it, you're done with your whole home and your home is clutter free. But just take it step by step and don't push yourself to do everything in a weekend, because we tend to do that, not only highly sensitive people but everybody in general, because you just want to get it done. But that's really overwhelming, because all the stuff we own usually has some sentimental value to us, or there was a reason why you bought it in the first place. So going through your entire ownings in 1 or 2 days, of course that's overwhelming.
I love that you just said something like you just said, the tea that I'm drinking right now, I had to laugh. I mean, it makes perfect sense. So I just put this on my Instagram story. It says, nature does not hurry, yet everything is accomplished.
Yeah, definitely.
That's a great quote, because it's just, you don't need to feel like you have to smash it all into one weekend.
Yeah, and I think that goes for everything, not only organization, but also your business. If you start a business, you just take it step by step, or with your relationship. And you don't have to get married and get kids and a home. Like everything just step by step, you know? And
Right.
and I think that really helped me as well in my moving progress and everything. So
I think just in general, for highly sensitive people, the more you can keep things simple, just wonders for our nervous system, just to keep things easily digestible. And I would recommend like just start with the space that you see the most. Like if you're sitting at home right now, like working on the computer or whatever, clean your desk space. I think about like everything in my peripheral that I don't need to be processing constantly. Like I sleep better when the closet door is closed because it's just white space versus all these little things that my brain is paying attention to. Right now, my desk, I have my laptop, and then I have this desktop of all this stuff behind me. The less stuff there is behind me, the less almost like subconscious brain power that my brain is using. So I would recommend just start with the one space that will make the biggest difference and just see how you feel. Because if you feel like that made so much difference, then you're going to be like, I want to go do the kitchen, you know?
yeah.
It becomes more of like a fun experiment and not, oh my God, this is so overwhelming. I have so many rooms.
Yeah, and I think like you mentioned, that some people even aren't aware that a lot of stuff is overwhelming them.
Right.
But at the same time, when you start cleaning up your space, I do that of course I clean every week, but sometimes you really have this urge to clean even more and to declutter even more. And then afterwards, that feeling is so refreshing and so, yeah, like you're reborn and you feel a sense of peace and calm from inside. And that's a sign that basically your stuff is overwhelming you. So that's a sign to get rid of that stuff that is overwhelming you, you know?
Right. And I'll even add to that, highly sensitive people in general, I think, tend to be more sensitive to the energy that things hold. So even from an energetic perspective, just clearing out things that are not serving you anymore, or just hold old energy, like old clothing or notebooks that you took notes in college that you were saving but don't really ever look at, things that just might be holding the energy of that experience or that past time of your life, that it just kind of feels good to let go of and start over. For one reason, visually it's less stimulating, but also energetically it can be really healing and cathartic too, to get rid of a lot of these things.
Yeah, like stuff from your ex-boyfriend or ex-girlfriends.
And actually I think it's good. It's because a lot of people, like, I don't know if, I mean, maybe this is a highly sensitive thing. I mean, it might be because we tend to be very intense emotionally, that we might attach emotional meaning to a lot of objects.
Yeah.
One of the ways around that for me, because I was like a hoarder for a long time because I didn't want to get rid of, I'm like, oh, but that makes me think of this and I feel this, you know. Taking photos, that's the beautiful thing about technology now. Take photos of everything that you're like, I don't want to forget this thing, but I don't need it sitting on the nightstand. You know what I mean? And then you have this digital album of all these memories you can look at when you want to, but you don't have all this physical stuff. Like, especially, I'm sure you can talk about this having just moved, because I've moved across the country several times. I've moved so much in the past 10 years that I really started realizing I don't want to move this stuff again. Like, do I need to move it again? You know?
Yeah.
So,
I totally get it. But that's such a good tip. I wish I would have known about that before decluttering.
Oh no, I should have told you.
No, but that's fine. I decluttered anyways, but such a good tip. And some people really attach emotions to stuff and objects, and that's fine, you know, but as long as it doesn't overwhelm you, that's basically the trend now.
And I tend to hoard things too. Like if for those creative, highly sensitive people, there's a lot of times where I'm like, there's this empty cardboard box that I have all these ideas in my mind of like, oh, I feel like, because there are times for sure 6 months from now, I'm like, I need a cardboard box like this size.
Yeah.
And Matt kind of makes fun of me because he's like, do we need these boxes or these like pieces of cardboard, like random things that I'm like, I know I'll use it later. And it sounds ridiculous, but most of the time when I'm looking for something, I'm like, I know I have that and I want to go grab it. Having those things stored away in some kind of creative craft closet or something that for a rainy day versus having it visible and out where you can see it. I feel like there might be some highly sensitive people watching who have that sentimental attachment to everything, or who have all this creative stuff they've hoarded because like, I might use this someday, and it's true, you might use it. Put it in a closet or the basement, you know?
Put it outside. And you know, that was a real challenge in my old apartment, actually, because my old apartment was only 570 square feet big. So that's really small. And I lived there together with my fiance and our dog. So it was really tiny space for the three of us. And we were really smart with organizing our stuff because there was not much storage. We didn't have much shelves and much closets, and we didn't have much space to hide away the stuff. So for us, it was really important to only buy stuff that is necessary, to think about buying stuff 3 times instead, like, don't get urged by, oh wow, that's a really good deal and a really good discount, but think about twice, do I really need it, and does it really give me joy? And I think that this mindset has emerged after watching the Marie Kondo documentary on Netflix, because Marie Kondo, she works with this mindset. Does something spark joy within you? And if you don't use it and it doesn't spark joy, why do you keep it? And ever since applying that mindset, I've been much more conscious about what I buy and what I take into a home, especially not tiny apartments. So yeah, it was really a challenge to stay organized within this old home. And this mindset really helped me to manage to do so, even if it still was quite challenging, because all the stuff you needed to fit it into 570 square feet. Yeah, and with the 3 of us, it was really tough. So yeah, moving out, we tried to apply the KonMari method once again, and also do step-by-step packing, not everything in one weekend, but really do it step-by-step. I already started a month before moving with packing up stuff, just to take the time to emotionally work through the whole house. I started thinking like, okay, what does spark joy within me? What helps me? What do I really need in a new home? And if I don't need it, why would I keep it? So we threw away quite a lot of stuff before we moved over to our new home. And now it's so refreshing because we moved from 570 square feet to a house of 1,400 square feet. So that's like
almost triple
bigger. And what's really nice now, we only have the stuff in our home which is ours and which we need and which sparks joy. And we have a lot of space, like, to put away our stuff. So everything that we have has its own place. I know exactly where it is. And it is so easy to keep my home organized because of that, because it's not cluttered as of now, and it makes it easy to keep it clean, you know? But yeah, I'm still like a bit afraid that I will forget the lessons from my old home.
I was just gonna say, remind yourself of this, because what tends to happen, I've heard people talk about this, who become successful and then move into a really nice big house, and they just feel the need to fill it with stuff. Before you know it, it becomes just as cluttered as the first place that you had that was half the size.
Yeah, so
it's a good process to go through, like you were saying, when you're buying something. Does it bring me joy? Does it serve a function? And then also, I'd probably add, where is it going to go in my place? Because if you can't figure out where it's going to go, because Matt and I were trying to organize recently, we were trying to pick a cabinet for all of our dog stuff because it was just taking over the dining room of all places. And we were choosing between these 2 cabinets, and one of them was like cheaper and more practical and just kind of had all these bins we could toss dog stuff in, and there was this other cabinet that was really nice and we both liked it better. What would we use it for? Like, where were we going to put this in the house? And we decided after the discussion to just get the first one because it made the most sense and it had a place and it was functional.
You know, it's important that you use your stuff well, and that everything has its own place in your home.
The last thing that I was going to mention about organization is not just physical organization, but in terms of tasks or to-do lists. And I think we could probably do a whole video on like productivity and work organization, but just my best tip on that subject would be whiteboards have helped me so much. I love it. Maybe just because I'm a visual person. I have a monthly calendar downstairs that has all of mine and Matt's things that we're doing that month. Any of the medication that Winter has to take each day, we have it on there. His school schedule, you know, my work stuff, everything, so that we have an idea of what the month looks like, and you don't have to constantly communicate and get crazy about what are you doing this day and what's happening when. And then I also have a weekly routine thing, and I actually looked on Amazon because I was like, I want to buy a weekly whiteboard, but they were like this big. It was so weird. I couldn't find anywhere on the internet like a big one. So I took a piece, one of these, I actually have one right next to me. It was just giant piece of construction paper, and I drew on it the days of the week and then had it laminated and bought the wet erase markers.
Yeah, that's so smart.
And just have a weekly routine schedule. And that just gets it all out of my brain. And I think that's the biggest piece of how this can help, how organization can help highly sensitive people. Because the less stuff going on in here, the better you're going to function on a day-to-day basis. Just get it all out of there.
Yeah, actually talking about a weekly planner, I also have one, but only for work.
Yeah.
Is this, and here I have the place to write down all my to-dos, and then I number them, and then I can add my numbers here, like, oh, I need to do this on Thursday, or I need to do this on Tuesday, and I shouldn't forget it. And then I can even schedule my entire day after my tasks. And yeah, it's just amazing to keep your tasks out of your head and keep it organized on paper.
Yeah, it's super smart that you number them too, because then I'm sure it's a lot easier. You don't feel like you're filling up this tiny square with like all this writing, and you actually have it prioritized. That's genius.
Number. Yeah, it just keeps it really organized. So yeah. So I think those were our tips to share on the topic organization. So we are quite curious to hear your experiences. Are you easily getting overwhelmed by a cluttered space, and what are you doing to declutter your home? And yeah, feel free to share your experiences in the comments with us. And thank you so much for watching, and see you again next time.
Hit subscribe.
Bye. Bye.
Haven't done that in way too long.
Yeah, that's so good. I'm still there? No. Okay, he's still there. Okay.
Oh.
I thought we lost the connection for a while, but we're still good. So basically,
I just see that.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw one of the other videos. I was like, I'm gonna high five myself.